All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Herbert Harris, and today we are in class number 73. Wow, it's been over a year of our Millionaire Mentorship series. And this is really an important call. This is actually the last call of the year. And a couple of announcements I want to make. We're planning a goal setting and time management webinar. This will be a webinar next Saturday, January 4th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this webinar will be at the www.lifeskilltv.com. That's www.lifeskilltv.com. And it's really a complimentary webinar. Many of you have gotten our package. We call it the perfect gift for the year, and consisting of our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, and our 2014 Success Calendar. And that's been really just taken off, because one of the things we wanted to do in the calendar was each month to give you some an inspirational picture, some positive thoughts. Each month ties in with one of the laws of success. For example, in January, the first law of success: thoughts become things in accordance with the nature and feeling of the thought. So be careful about what you think. Your thoughts manifest in your life experience in accord with your emotions and feelings. And then we have a place there for your January goals, and we have a piece that says, what I recognize, I energize, and what I energize, I realize. And the affirmation for January is, I become what I think about most of the time. And so we have that for each month. We also have a workbook. We're going to be doing a series of monthly trainings, but the workbook is your personal success workbook, and it's sort of guy, even if you've read the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the workbook kind of takes you through it again and gives you exercises that can help. That whole package is available at www.theperfectgift.me. That's www.theperfectgift.me. And all right, welcome. And that whole package is $39.95. We've sold a ton of them. And those who get the book, the webinars are complimentary. The time management and goal setting webinars are complimentary piece to it, in addition to about $120 in CDs and posters and DVDs and all those kind of things. All right. This is an important Saturday. Let me see. I'll put us on, let me silence our lines, because if you can hear it, we can hear it. Today, our topic is setting the sails for change. As we approach the new year, I think that one of the things is that we want 2014, we want the new year to be different from last year. And, for those of us who want more of the same from last year, hopefully you've had a great, incredible year, and many of us have had really great years. I mean, think about it, in our business, in our lives. I mean, some really good things have happened to us this year. And so, in that sense, some of us just want to continue like 2013 to just roll into 2014, just like it happened last year. Let's just have more of the same. And, for those, man, what a blessing. But I think that most of us, many of us, we want to make some changes in 2014. We want 2014 to be different. We want 2014 to be better. And so the topic for the day, and this is the second call a class in the series, and we call it New You for the New Year. There are 2 more we'll be doing over the next 2 weeks. But today's topic is setting the sails for change. And I want you to think about this. Look at the ocean. Look at a huge body of water, and you have tons of ships, sailboats out in the water. And the same wind blows on all the ships, the same sun, the same water. In other words, the environment for everybody is the same. Like time, we all have the same number of hours in the day. But how we get where we want to go depends on what we call the setting of the sails. And in other words, 2 identical ships can be there, and 2 identical ships could be there, but the difference is the setting of the sails as to whether the ships go around in circles. And these ships represent our lives. If we set our sails in the same way they were set last year, we will experience many of the same things we did last year. And when next December comes, we'll be saying pretty much the same things we're saying right now. And so setting the sails for change is about what do we do to change certain things in our lives to make it happen. In addition to the sails, though, I want you to think of a sailboat. We have the rudder. And so if the sails represent your attitude, the sails represent your perspective. The sails often represent your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, your associations. And then in addition to the sails, we have the rudder. And you know, we can have a good wind, a setting of the sails that are correct, but our rudder might be off, our steering mechanism. And that steering mechanism is the thing inside us, is our core values. You know, we often say, you know, people don't change that much, really. It's just a little bit of change. Most people, we're pretty near there. But it's those little changes that will make the big difference. And so the rudder is that steering mechanism, your core values, those things that you really are. You know, there's things you say, well, this person is not going to do that. They're not going to lie, cheat, or steal. They may or may not be successful. They may or may not achieve their goals. But we know this: they're honest people. They're conscious people. And so the rudder is the basic core principles. And then the engine is your desire. And so your engine is there when the winds die down. Okay? Your engine is there to keep you moving towards your goal when all else fails, your desire. But you always have the rudder. You always have your core values. And so we often say, you know, when people are successful in our business, you know, sometimes we achieve what we call lifetime success. You know, folks say, well, in my entire lifetime, I made $1 million or $2 million. Well, in our industry, in our business, you can achieve lifetime success in 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years. You can make more than many people make in their entire lifetimes. And so what does the success make you become? Well, that's your rudder. Okay? If you are a jerk, then the money, the success just makes you a bigger jerk. Okay? But if you were a good person inside, the money or success just makes you bigger. So success magnifies who you really are inside. And so now let's, in that context, let's look at this. As we're closing out this year, I'd like for you to sit and look at each and every aspect of your life. Look at your professional, your income, your money-making aspects. Look at your spiritual aspects. Look at your personal aspects. Do you want to gain weight, lose weight? Do you want to be, in other words, those personal things about you? Look at the family aspects of your life. Look at the community aspects. Look at your relationships. And the idea is to take each one of these aspects, let's just say family, let's say business, and to look at these concepts. Number one, to revisit what were your goals for last year. If you cannot remember your business goals for last year, then there's no puzzle for why we didn't achieve them. We did really. If you had no goals and you're not where you want to be, you achieved it. So that's number one. What were my goals for last year? 2, am I happy with my performance last year? You know, as I said, there's some people that when this year ends, they're like, man, I am so excited. 2013 was such an incredible year. I just want more of the same in 2014. If you are happy with your performance, then why? You know, oftentimes when we have success, we have a tendency to fail to diagnose what called that success. Sometimes our ego will tell us the success was because of us and how great we are, how beautiful we are, how smart we are. But I say this, that when you have success, diagnose your success with the same intensity that you diagnose your failures. When you fail, believe me, you do a diagnostic. And so if you were not happy with your performance last year, why not? What were the things that made you unhappy about your performance last year? Maybe just you didn't achieve your goals. Yeah. Maybe some of the relationships you wanted to develop did not materialize. Maybe some of the things you wanted to acquire did not happen. And then number 5, the big question. What could I have done to improve my performance? I'll say that again. What could I have done to improve my performance? Now, folks, that's powerful, because this is that diagnostic stage, this diagnostic process that will set you up for greater success in the new year. When we don't analyze that, when we don't critically look at what I can do to improve my performance, chances are we'll do the same things we did last year. So make a list of those things. What could I have done? You know, maybe what I should have done, maybe it was better planning. You know, many times we miss the boat because we get there late. So maybe better time management. Maybe we need to be better prepared. You know, so many people, when opportunity comes, they're not ready. There's a saying, it's better to be ready for an opportunity that does not come than to not be ready for one that does come. Because that's just one of the things that happens. So maybe next year we need to be more prepared for the things we do. What are some of the things that number 6, what are some of the things you won't do again? You know, when I look back, I think back, and you know, sometimes, you know, I travel a lot, and very often I'll get into a city, and I may have been depending on my team there to put people in the seats so that I can do the presentation. And sometimes it's just not there. You get there and there's nobody there but you and your team, and no guests. You know, you're like a farmer with no seeds. And so that's something I say, I'm not going to do that again. You know, I'm going to determine a way to work with my team in that area so that when I come there, I know they're going to have people in the seats. You know, we'll figure out how to do that. But that's one of those things that I'm not going to do again. I'm not going to travel depending on, you know, other people having, you know, the place ready when I know we may not have done the background work, the behind work to make sure that happens. Number 7, what must I do to improve my performance next year? You know, once we look at the diagnostic of where we are and what has happened, we know what to do. You know, it's very interesting. We are all great physicians. You know, it said, physician, heal thyself. And as we start this new year, that's really what it's about. We're the physicians, and we heal ourselves by setting our sails. by revving up our engines, our desire, by reminding ourselves of our core values. Number 8, what will happen if I improve my performance next year? What will happen if I improve my performance in 2014? You know, it's so much easier to hit a target you can see. And so when you look at the benefits of, for example, let's say, if you say, well, you know, I'm going to make every event, okay, in my business and in my family. I'm never going to miss a softball game. I'm never going to miss an elite academy, okay? And what will happen? Well, we know that if you make all the events, you'll make over 4 times as much money as people who don't show up. We know that if you make those events with your kids, they'll never forget it. When you don't, they'll never forget that either. And so look at some of the specific things that will happen if you improve your performance next year. If you improve your daily method of operation. You know, so often when I say physician, heal thyself, we have all the information we need to do, be, and have the things we want to do, be, and have. But something inside keeps us from doing it. We know that we have to have a daily operation for success. Don't we have to eat every day to live? Don't we have to breathe every day to live? And so why not have certain activities that you must do every day to be successful? That's a part of the law of life. And then finally, number 9, what will happen if I don't improve my performance for next year? What will happen if I continue being late? What will happen if I continue being unprepared? What will happen if I continue procrastinating? What will happen if I continue spending dollar time on penny jobs? Well, folks, once you've done that, and you know, I've been very blessed. I had a bronchitis, and so this Christmas I actually spent 72 hours, 3 days inside. Didn't see a soul, just inside in prayer, meditation, reading, and doing some of what I've just shared with you, diagnosing last year and planning for the new year. And so once you've answered those questions, you should have a good idea of what you must do in each area of your life to make this year, 2014, the way you want it to be. This is the basis for the learnings and for the personal adjustments that you must make. Some of the things that I have concluded for myself and I think may be helpful to you. 1, to manage my time better. Time is our supreme gift, that from which no one else can give but the Creator. 2, to develop and execute my daily method of operation. One of the things I wrote down that I'm going to do is at the end of each day, I'm going to evaluate my performance for that day. Okay? And at the end of each day, I'm going to make my list for things to be done tomorrow. Make my list of people to be talked to, of prospects to reach out to, of distributors to work with, of books to read. I made a commitment this year to really look at the 30, 60, 90-day plan. You know, one of the things that we sometimes undermine our success is we look out of the rearview mirror instead of the front windshield. Yeah. To forget the phase of the past and the circumstances that brought us where we are. Once we understand the feelings of those circumstances and then focus on where we want to be. The mind, the subconscious mind is so powerful that whatever you program it with, it will help manifest. So if we program it for that which we're seeking this year, rather than dwelling on our past failures, we'll get where we want to go. If we don't, we'll be stuck in the log jams of life. I made a commitment to learn more, to read more. It's very interesting. One of the books I read this weekend over the Christmas holiday, was The GoPro by Eric Warray. And it's very interesting. There were at least 10 other people that I know who were reading the same book at the same time. I saw that Jeff Lundgren was reading it, and he's doing I think a little class for 12 weeks. So isn't it interesting that that same spirit, that same consciousness penetrated so many of us in the business? So now that we've really diagnosed our situation, the second key is to, as a part of that planning bigger, is to realize that we shouldn't wait until now to be planning next year. That we should have been planning for 2014 as a natural part of our evolution of 2013. And so one of the key things is say, you know what? I'm going to monitor my progress so much better so that when I get to the end of 2014, the things that I must do in 2015 are like self-explanatory. There will be very few needs for adjustments and changes. The other key thing is that to remember that we are responsible for everything. We've said it over and over, but in business and in life, as long as we blame anybody else, circumstances, or people, we can't grow. So the key to our wake-up call for the new year is to say, hey, I am responsible for whatever this is, this mess or this blessing, whatever this is that I have created, I'm the one. Once I take full responsibility for it, then I can diagnose the exercises we did before. Then I can diagnose, you know, what were the thoughts, what were the habits, what were the associations that I engaged in that brought me where I am right now. Right? Rather than blaming other people and circumstances and situations, we take full responsibility for finding ways to overcome in spite of them. If you're in the hurricane, then fold your sails, batten the hatches, ride out the waves. Don't go plodding on like there's no hurricane. Yeah. Don't waste time fighting alligators. You know, so often we say the alligators are chomping at our bits or our butts. But don't waste time fighting alligators. Drain the swamp. We know what the swamp is. We know what creates and permits the alligators to fester. And then the final piece is this, that for things to get better, we must get better. In order to change anything, once we take responsibility for it, the ball is always in our hands. Life is always passing us the football. And it's always our decision to catch and run. Determine those areas we need to get better in and then work on it. Commit to do the work. If time is a challenge, study up on time management. Learn some of the ways to streamline and get things done. Okay. If emotions, you know, many of us fear rejection, then work on that. Because I'll tell you this, folks, if you don't fix it, it will stay broken. I'll say that again. If you don't fix it, it will stay broken. And I like to sort of wrap this up with a thought. The idea to really help you be better than I've ever been. Okay. Be as great as I can be. And be all that I was destined to be. And so, to wrap up, when we set the sails for change, remember the log jams. Remember what we have to do to eliminate the log jams, and those log jams are those places where we just get stuck. And so, how do we set our sails, our thoughts, to only permit thoughts to come into our mind which are conducive to guiding us where we want to go? We may not be able to control circumstances, but we can certainly control our reaction to them. We always have the attitude that I win. I win, no matter what. You've seen football games where at the last second, I was looking at that game, I think, with New England, and 7 seconds, and then out of nothing, I mean, an incredible touchdown. You know, in our thoughts, don't worry about the how. You know, don't get... How is a word you don't need to think about. You just focus on the thoughts and control those thoughts that you want to materialize next year. 2, adjust our emotions. You know, sometimes we have to go all the way back to our childhood to see why we fear rejection so much. Sometimes we have to go all the way back to determine what it is that's going on that makes us seek seek attention. You know, in our business, sometimes we can often get so busy being the star that we kill our own business because we get ego-centered. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Build your emotions so that you have courage, so that you have faith, so that you can eliminate self-doubt. Change your habits. You know, the habits, we create our habits, and then our habits create us. We know the habits that undermine us. We know the habits that slow us down. We know the habits that keep us from doing, being, and having that which we want. So we change them. We eliminate them. And then finally, look at our associations. As we set the sails for change, there's some people that cannot ride on that boat with us. There's some people, and you know, how do you know who should be on the boat with you? Well, surround yourself with people who are going in the same direction. Okay? Surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. So when you share your greatest or your darkest secret, when you share your greatest or your darkest fear, who make you feel better about it, who don't make you feel bad. And so, folks, 2014 is going to be the greatest year that we have ever had. We're going to say powerful affirmations like today is the most magnificent day of my life, that health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money come to me in great abundance. Every day we'll say that. Every day we'll say, boy, in the morning we'll say, you know, today I go forth with a positive attitude. Today I go forth with a winning attitude. And I have a list of things to accomplish today. And at the end of the day, we can say, I did everything I could with what I had to do it with. If we live each day like that in 2014, then next year this time, our success will not just be great, it will be outrageous. And then finally, be still and know. Be still and know that as we go through these transformations, there's always the noise that comes up. We call it the white noise, the pink noise, the red noise that comes up. It may be noise of people around you. It may be just an environment where there's noise. But in this year, commit to be able to take yourself into the closet of your mind, to be still and know who you really are. Know that you are worthy of all the success that you're seeking, and know that it will manifest in your life day by day. All right.